Here we go now with the second part of our show. Good morning, Barry here with you, and welcome along to those that are just tuned in. And it's great to have your company wherever you may be watching on northern beaches and everywhere around Sydney. And here's Nick now. Good morning.
Good morning again. It's 10:45. The weather it's pretty better. It's warming up, and we also are warming up. Back. Is that right?
Yeah, so it is the 29th of August today. Only a couple of more days left of winter, and I can tell you I am fed up with this cold weather. Hard to get up in the morning, and now I would like to talk about the benefits of lunch. Well, having lunch is important. You need to eat a healthy lunch, ladies and gentlemen. And here's my outsider now.
Not just that, having a healthy lunch is great, and having a healthy social life, like we have been having the last couple of months with Jerry, it's even better. You share a meal, you talk, you chat, you discuss, and that's all about.
And and like I said in the first part of the program, having a good attitude, which we will focus on again now on the second part of our show. Writing a diary of how you are feeling. We also brought this up on the show earlier on, and here's my outsider to give you an insight to that for those that have just tuned in.
Yeah, writing, keeping a diary, writing one page daily, ways I feel, things that we have done. For example, I'll put in my diary that I had a fantastic social uh, event with Barry, and these are unique, because you enjoy the sunshine, you enjoy the atmosphere, you share a meal, you talk about many other topics. For life, socializing also it's very important, for well-being.
Well, and as we've said earlier on, and well, please do not take your anger out on someone else for no apparent reason. This is very off-putting to the person, and here's my outsider now for his
Yeah,
comment on this.
it's the anger is just double edged, as they say, because when you get angry, you those it's a strong emotion, that can ruin the rest of the day. In addition, that anger might put off the people that you took the anger to. For example, if I had is out anger, I say to Barry, get out of here, but Barry won't like that, because it's
Uh,
not, it's not out there to hear certain things. There are other ways to communicate. We can still manage the anger and come and chat later in a more, meaningful way.
so, also write up an anger management plan too, and work out what is making you angry, why you are angry, and what made you angry in the first place. And have a friendly discussion about why you are angry with the person, or should I put why what you were angry with the person in the first place. And losing your temper too, ladies and gentlemen, that's not called for there. Here's my outsider now for his view on this.
Well, they've psychologists have come up with many tools how to avoid that initial reaction, because it's reaction, it's impulsive. You know, for example, my 11 years old son, well, other day while I was playing tennis, he got upset because I was beating him. And hang on a second, let's talk about it. Can you please just count up to 10, and after 10, after 10 you come up with a good response to yourself, because it's easy just to uh, take off, or react. But think of the consequences. No one can tolerate that, as you said before. So it's common sense, it's sensible that we kind of reflect on that. Of course, it requires more practice. It doesn't happen. But think of that like any other things. We can train our brain like we train a muscle. It
Well,
requires practice, but we can train.
okay, so we all get angry for a number of reasons. Okay, someone has done something or said something that they shouldn't have, or done something without consulting the person. Well, the way to handle the anger, ladies and gentlemen, okay, again, go and find a private place in the house, or get in your car with your partner or son, go to a park, take your lunch or your evening dinner, whatever you've got, and take a pen and paper and work out anger management plan. Well, I've got one for you viewers right now here. Firstly, do not just burst into the room and shout, "I want to work with you." That is not the way to start the conversation. Secondly, you can ask him, can I have a private word with you? You've done something wrong and we need to sort this out. Thirdly, do not swear at anybody, even if you are angry, because it doesn't solve the situation either forwards or backwards. Fourth, you must always tell the person that you are disappointed with him or her, and I'm sure Nick would deal with his son in a more calm way if he had done something wrong. So, Nick, what would you do?
Well, my son, it's a case, because at one point I was thinking that it's a difficult, but when I saw his teacher that told me, look, pretty much the same age, he's doing right. My son is improved, and I like him because he listened to me, what I say. Of course, there's still this way to go in improving this anger management. I remember we all were kids. As long as we take on the board, we listen, there is plenty of room for improvement. For example, I have noticed recently, after he comes to me and apologizes about his behavior, and I like that. So I'm sorry, you know. Yeah, I said, I take that, and I'm glad, that you noticed that you did the wrong thing. Now, how about we work on that? You know, So how about we train ourselves, of managing better, as Barry said, managing better the anger, because we all are prone to anger. It's not such wonder a human being. Anger surfaces everywhere. For example, Barry today had this. His chair had was chair where he put his feet, had the screws gone, and probably that has been going on for a while. Barry might have met other commands or requested to come. Yeah, Barry had the right to be frustrated with that. Am I right, Barry? But you kept that. You dealt in constructive way. You waited until management contacted the right person. They came today and fixed it, and now all all good.
So, continuing on, okay, anger is a way of getting rid of what is on our chest. But the thing that my outsider and I would like to say to you viewers watching this out there is have an anger management course. Write out a few strategies on what is making you angry and why you are angry. Okay, because again, it can ruin meal times like lunchtime. Like you could be sitting at home at the lunch table with the family and somebody suddenly bursts out in anger and then it just ruins the atmosphere for everybody else in the dining room. Now, for example, someone walked into the fish and chip shop angry because their food wasn't cooked the way they wanted it. And the staff got abused for no reason. Well, or my outsider and I can say that it is not the way to treat someone out in public. Here's my outsider for this.
Exactly. Uh, these are not tolerable, in our society. These are not the values uh, we we can do one. Remember, in especially places like restaurants and stuff, just respect the others. Make sure that that this is a public space. Therefore, think of that before you uh, say anything or make an opinion that are silly. Sometimes some silly people make an opinion out of nowhere. So it's all part of our society's value. We all are here to respect each other.
So, again, what Nick and I would like to mention also today is think about how to approach a person before getting angry, how to treat them, how to start the conversation and end the conversation, because respect is the key, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we are focusing on here today. And also, if you're at the dinner, the tea table, okay, again, somebody might have had a crap day at work and then suddenly they get angry with the person sitting next to them and say it's all your fault. Well, to me, Nick, and I think it is wrong to take the anger out on somebody else for no apparent reason. So if you spoil the atmosphere at the dinner table, or the tea table as I'd like to call it, then it doesn't make dinner time pleasant for anybody else. So again, write down in your diary why you got angry at the tea table, and what was said at the dinner table. Here's Nick.
Exactly. Maybe you have uh, one extra glass of wine on. Look, yeah, as Barry said, if you are between friends, that's fine. I do tolerate with friends. I do tolerate even with other people because we also are here to tolerate, but that is within a limit. So if I'm at dinner table, then one of my friends, has had few glasses of red wine more than I'll take that. I was having a good time. Say something silly. That's fine. We're human, okay? But see someone in the road, and make silly comments, without knowing me, or just because of appearance, whatever. This is unacceptable in our society. We're not supposed to make comments, to discriminate people because of skin or any other uh, conditions. We are all here, you know, with the rights, uh, morals.
So,
Let's just adopt that.
so do not swear either at the table, because offensive language that can be off-putting as well to everyone around you, and they may not want to eat their dinner with you. So when you are in a calm situation, it is a good idea to apologize to the person and maybe give them a bit of time to forgive you. They may not forgive you straight away. They may need some time to think about how they're going to forgive you. But if you didn't apologize, then the person would be suffering for it for no reason. So, once again, write down in your diary how you are going to forgive the person. Have a discussion before bedtime. If you've got 10 minutes before you turn the lights out, just sit down with the person and say, look, I'm sorry that I shouted at you before, okay, but you really did make me angry. So here's Nick now for his comment on what I just said to you viewers out there.
Thanks, Barry. Well, apparently, field statements are good. I use for my with my son, and this is incredible because if kids take on board, we are supposed to take. So with my son, sometimes I use the words a field statement. I feel that you are exaggerating now. I feel sad that you are behaving like this. And my son stops. Even when he was little, 3, 4 years old, very 5 years old, he will stop. Because kids also don't want, to uh, uh, to make, especially their parents, unhappy. They are not. I mean, they are just, they're just growing up and they do see things that we don't do. But that doesn't mean that they deliberately want to make someone unhappy. So when I use to my son these statements, feelings like I feel, it's still nowadays my son take on board said, "I apologize." Just simple things, and why? Because it's good to express the way how we feel. For example, I will say, Barry, I feel that time is up and I have to go. Something like that. I know maybe Barry doesn't didn't expect that. But we better say be honest. We better express the way how we feel instead of you know letting things just between vague.
So, in closing this second part of our show this morning, before we do go to the break, I'd like you viewers out there, this includes kids with mums and dads, to write out an anger management plan. Work out what you are going to do about it, and probably see if there are any free courses that you can do for anger management. Because that way, if you have a diary, ladies and gentlemen, and you write in it every single day, we'd like you to have a look at this and also think about how rudely you spoke to the person in the first place and why you spoke like that. Because as Nick and I say, respect is important. So we'd like you to today go out, buy a diary, and really think about what you are going to write in there. So this is where we are going to leave you with those tips on the second part of our show today. And hopefully you and your son or daughter may have an idea on how you are going to work on this. And here's Nick now for his last little bit of the story before we go to the break.
Exactly right, Barry. Well, maybe it'll take a while until you get used to writing this diary. But as Barry said, sometimes two steps forward, one step back will make always a step forward. And slowly you learn how to use it. You find yourself, And on top of that, uh, yeah, you get to know better yourself. Because I found writing a diary one of the best things I ever done in my life. Because yeah, I know what I'm up to. I'm in touch with myself. I don't keep all the times, but yeah, I, I try to keep it up because I know how useful it is.
So, in ending the second part of our show this morning, right, make up a poster, put it on your door, and write, respect is the key. I must respect the people that are around me. And there are no I's in it too. Think about it. This is Barry, Fair and Nick, and we will see you after the lunch break from the fish and chip shop. So, in the third part of our show today will be going over some of this again and to give you guys some homework on how to handle your anger and stress. And whatever happens at home, it stays at home. It doesn't go out of the house. And here's Nick now to take up this last little bit of the story before we go to the break.
That we will recap later with more tools, and with discussion about anger management.
So, this is Barry Fair. It's coming up to 10 minutes past 11, and coming up shortly we have the fish and chip review.